Okay, welcome everyone to JCI Rwanda in partnership with JCI Lebanon on today's session called Power Up Your Professional Brand. And we are really pleased to have all of you join us today. Today is 28th February 2025, and we will be here together for about an hour and a half, really diving very deep into what is it? What does it mean to really have a professional brand? What does it mean to um, connect your personal brand as well with your professional brand and use that to do great things? And we're going to be looking at three major areas that we're going to dive very deep into. The first part is professional brand foundation. Second is digital presence mastery. And the third part is physical presence impact. Now, the two speakers are already here, so which is pretty good. So I am one of the speakers, but see us as your co-facilitators rather than speakers in that sense today. So my name is Damilola Fasoranti, and I am the 2025 JCI Rwanda National President. And together with me to co-facilitate this session today is Mari Khalife. She's the 2025 JCI Lebanon National President. You're going to hear a little bit from her later on. And she's also going to take us through some of these parts as well for today. Now, because I said today's session is really going to be a lot more practical, and really our hope is to help each of you that is on the call today to really find out what exactly is it even your brand at the moment, and how can you make that brand to become better? How can you use that to build more possibilities in your life? When I say in your life, it can be in your career, it can be in your private life, and it can be in any other areas as well. So to get us properly started, I would want to meet all of you. And the way I want to meet all of you today is going to be a little bit different. And I would actually ask you to unmute when you're introducing yourself, because I'm going to give you an activity or an exercise to introduce yourself. So because I already see your names on the screen, I would like you to introduce yourself without telling me your name. Okay. Introduce yourself to me as well without telling me the work you do. Don't tell me your gender. Don't tell me the country you have come from. Don't tell me the occupation that you have. Don't tell me your hobbies. Don't tell me the things you love. Don't tell me the things you hate. Yet, I want you to introduce yourself to me. And that whole introduction should be just two sentences. Okay, I'm going to repeat myself. Okay, and I'm going to be calling names. And that's really how we're going to go into our session today, because our goal is really to help everyone in this room today to discover what exactly is their current brand and how they can make it better as well. Again, I want each one of you in here to introduce yourself to me today. Don't tell me your name. Don't tell me your gender. Don't tell me where you have come from. Don't tell me your occupation. Don't even tell me your educational status. Don't tell me anything that has to do with your family. Don't tell me what is bad about you or what is good. And don't tell me anything that is connected to your hobby or the things that you love or the things that you hate. Okay, so that's the way we're going to introduce ourselves today. So I will start with Dorothy. Then from Dorothy, I'll go to Bernard, and then we'll go on and on and on like that. So, Dorothy, the floor is yours. If you can please unmute in two sentences, tell us about yourself without mentioning those things. Okay, we can hear Dorothy. Okay, I think we'll go to Bernard. Bernard can give it a try.
All right, thank you. If you can go to a party and everyone is waiting for that special person who will show up and obey, make the party very enjoyable, that would be me. Would be me. Thank you.
Wow, no, I love that.
Thank you.
How
Okay, I
fun.
love that. So you are the life of the party, yes?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay, fantastic. So, for example, I could actually introduce myself if I was Bernard to just say, I'm the life of a party. That would be
Wow.
awesome. Every single person will remember that. I mean, I love the way you said it, But our goal is that today we'll be able to get to that point where even in 3 words, in 5 words, in 1 sentence, we introduce ourselves and we are memorable. That is our goal for today. So thank you so much, Bernard, for giving it a try. Okay, we'll go to other people. So what we're doing at the moment is that we're asking people to introduce themselves without mentioning their name because we can see it on the screen. Don't mention your academic qualification. Don't mention where you have come from. Don't mention what you love or what you ate. Don't tell us your family. Don't tell us your hobby. Yet, we want you to introduce yourself to us in this room today in just 2 sentences. So, I will go over now to Sharon. And from Sharon, we'll go to Delphine. Give it a shot.
Hello, I'm happy to be here. I'm Sharon, and I'm a
Don't tell us
smiling
your
machine.
name.
Oh,
Don't tell
sorry.
us your name.
You just said Sharon. Let me go to Sharon.
I
Sorry.
already called your name. Don't mention.
Okay. I didn't get that properly. Okay, I'll go with a smiling machine.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Smiling machine.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
24/7.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think we're getting into some very interesting things today. Okay. Let's go to other people and let's see the magic that's going to happen. Let's go over to Delphine. From Delphine, we'll go to NB Dennis.
I love that because I've never met any of you and I want to meet you just from your personal intro.
Exactly. That's the goal. Okay. Delphine, are you able to unmute?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm a go-getter.
No, that's too common. We don't want to hear about your goals. And you have 2 sentences to use, by the way, okay?
Okay. Give me a minute.
Okay, we'll give you a minute. That's fine. Okay, let's go over to Edby Denise, then we'll go to Chantal, and then we'll try Dorothy again if she's still with us. Introduce yourself to us without mentioning your name, without mentioning your academic status, without mentioning your job or your occupation, without mentioning where you have come from, without mentioning your hobbies, without mentioning your gender in 2 sentences. Okay, Edby Denise, are you there?
It's good to have you with us.
Okay, maybe we'll come back to you. Let's go to Chantal.
Also, there's no right or wrong. Don't be scared of anything.
Okay, we can hear Chantal as well. All right, we'll try Dorothy again. And then we will continue.
Then we'll return the question to you.
Oh, yes, of course. All right. If any of you are speaking, we can't hear you. So is either you're muted and we can hear you or you're actually muted. Okay. So we have heard from 2 people so we have heard from Bernard, and Bernard has said is the life of a party, and that's an introduction. Okay. Sharon has told us she is a smiling machine. Okay. Now we will go to the facilitators, okay, and also ask ourselves the same question. Okay. And I'm going to start with Mary. So Mary, how would you introduce yourself without mentioning any of those stuff?
I think I'm a seeker of growth, of opportunities, of people, of risk. Like, I want to experience things.
Okay,
those are more than
wow.
2 sentences, but
that looks like 15 sentences to me.
just add commas and then it's 2 sentences. Curious
Okay,
soul, Delphine, I
fantastic.
can relate to that.
Okay, I think I like what Delphina said as well, that she's a curious soul. And I think that's really mouthful and really excellent as well to be able to say that. Now, here's the thing. I would say mine as well, but I really want to say a couple of things based on this kind of introduction that we're doing today. Now, it is very likely that some of you, this is probably the first time that you're being asked to introduce yourself this way. If there's any of you like that here, please type yes or type no on the chat, okay? If this is the very first time in your life that you were asked to introduce yourself this way, please type yes. If it's not the first time, please type no. Okay, I can see one yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see two yes. Okay. All right, this is interesting. Oh, I can see another yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see a no. Fantastic. This is
Dennis,
beautiful.
we want to hear from you now.
And that's why I would have loved to hear from you. Okay. Now, what is interesting about this is this. We are all used to the ordinary. We are all used to the usual. And many of us, we do introduce ourselves the way every other person does that. You get to someone, you are meeting someone for the first time, you go by, my name is Vash, I am the national president of this, I work at this. These are the first initial things that comes to our mind when we're introducing ourselves. Now, the not so interesting thing about introducing ourselves that way is because it is generic. Everybody does exactly the same thing. Most likely you're probably in suits together with them, so your clothes are matching. It's kind of like the same. You're in a formal setting, everybody is in tie and in suits. You're in an informal thing, everybody are in t-shirts and shorts and everything. So there is really nothing that is making you stand out in that situation because you introduce yourself the same way, you wear the same kind of clothes, you are dressed up the same kind of way. So what exactly is it when we talk about your professional and your personal brand? We are talking about something that is really fundamental to you that really makes you stand out almost immediately. And here's the thing, I have never heard anyone say they're a smiling machine.
Mm-hmm.
It came home to me just hearing that. Yes, I've heard people say they're life of a party. Yes, I've heard that before. But smiling machine, I haven't heard that. And this is what we're talking about when we say, what exactly is it when we go deep, deep, deep down with you, beyond your normal labels, beyond the fact that you're a brother, beyond the fact that you're a son, the fact that you're a sister or you're a cousin. If we go a little bit downwards, what is it that makes you really stand out? This is the biggest question that we always ask. Okay, now let's push a little bit further from there. I don't know if you guys can be on video because I want to do an exercise, but if you're not able to do that, I would like you to do this exercise. So I want you to look around where you are at the moment. Just look around you, wherever you are. Okay. And I'm going to take off my screen as well so that this is helpful, just in case people would come on video. Now, look around you, and I want you to pick up any item around you that says something about who you are. So I'm going to give everybody about 2 minutes. Just look around you, and I want you to pick one item that says something about who you are, or it speaks to you as, yeah, you can tell a story connected to yourself in relation to that thing that you're picking. Okay, I already picked mine. This is mine, just in case you guys can see. Okay. For the other people that we cannot see, you can type the item that you have picked up. You can type it on the chat because I'm going to be asking you a few questions about it and also giving you some insight into what this means. So, and I'm also going to be telling you what I've picked as well, okay? So I picked the charger, and I'm going to tell you a few things about it. Okay, very good. Now, okay, I'm seeing some of those items you picked that is coming on the chat. Please keep putting on the chat as well. Keep putting on the chat, okay? And I'm going to be asking each of you just one question, and you're going to give some responses to that. So I'm going to start with you, Bernard. So the item you picked is a diary. I would like you to tell me a story about yourself that is connected to the diary and that people always say about you. So these are 3 things, okay, that I want you to highlight. Tell me about the item in connection to yourself and in connection to what people usually say about you. All right, let's start with you, Bernard.
Okay, thank you for my diary that I've picked. So it's where I write every activity that I'm about to do, and any idea that comes to my mind, I write it down within this diary. So it reflects me, who I am, because I mean, when I'm planning everything, so I write it down in this diary. So all my thoughts, okay, not all, but my plans that I'm planning to execute are in there, so it reflects my mind. So concerning what other people knows about me, I think some says yeah, I do things that I've planned. Yeah, not just doing anything. So I do things as I've planned them. So I think that could link to this diary. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that. And I hope you write that somewhere, that people usually say that you do the things that you said you're going to do, right? And it also the place where you really write your thoughts and you write things that really come to you, ideas and everything, and that is connected to you as well. And we're going to be digging a little bit to that in a short while. So thank you so much for sharing. Let's go over to Delphine. For other people, please put on the chat the item that you picked. Yes, let's go to you now, Delphine. Tell us a little story about yourself in connection to your item and what people usually say about you.
Well, a pen, because I like writing and learning. So the way it affects me, it's I'm a curious person. I need to know things. I need to learn. I need to understand what is happening around me in the world. And people think, I mean, they perceive me as someone who, I'm lacking a word to put it, but they always see me as someone who wants to learn. Even if I'm in front of my laptop, I have a pen always with me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I'm going to bring what Bernard has shared alongside with the things that you have shared as well, and really connecting this to the whole idea of branding, either professionally or personally. If people usually say about you, Delphine, that yes, you're curious, you always have a pen with you because there's something you're writing down. And for you, Bernard, people see you with a diary because you write your goals and your plans and everything there. Now, here's the other side of things. If you do that often enough, and people have started saying that they see you doing that, or they talk to you about those things that you do, one way or the other, that is the brand that you have. That may not be all about you, but the way you show up to people or the way you show up to the world is exactly how people see you. And that exactly is the kind of brand that you have. So here's the thing. I've seen so many people, they say that they have lovely voices, they can sing best, but the only place where they have sung before is in the bathroom. And they do that every morning. Well, I only see this person as an administrator at work. I don't see this person as a singer. Yet, this could be something that they have. But the only reason why I do not know about it is because they do not show up as that. So the way you show up in the things that you have is the way we will also know about you. It's also the way we will see you as your brand. Anywhere you go, anything you're saying, this is the kind of brand that we think about you. Now, I'm going to ask a cross question now. Okay. Now, because Mary has met Dennis before, I'm going to be asking Mary to speak for the next 2 minutes about who you think Dennis is. No wrong or right. And Dennis does not need to stop you to say, no, it's not true. How do you perceive Dennis? And you're going to tell us why you perceive him that way. What do you see him do or whatever? Okay. Yeah.
I think he kind of acts like a secret agent. He grasps the information, he's very discreet, but he's present. Like he will retain what you're telling him, he will be listening to what's happening around him, but being very discreet and humble about everything. And when he does decide to speak out, you know that it's not just to speak out, it is valid and very important information. That's how I perceive him.
Okay, Dennis, you need to confirm if this is true or if this is wrong.
Are you a
Are you a
secret agent?
Very true, very true.
Oh, it's true. They're your secret
Yeah.
agents. Oh, wow.
Let me
How
call the
many of my
news then.
secrets are with you?
Pardon? Pardon?
How many of my secrets are with you, Dennis?
I see that Nabil is here as well.
Hi, Infinavir.
Hello, Nabil.
Welcome. Okay, interesting. So, can you imagine Marie lives somewhere away in Europe and Lebanon. Dennis is somewhere in Uganda. They met each other, at a point just for a few days. But Mary is actually saying things about Dennis, and Dennis is confirming that it's true. Okay, I'm gonna do one more test. Okay, Sharon, I'm gonna call on you now. What do you think about Delphine? I know you talk sometimes, but maybe not so much. So, Sharon, what do you think? What would you say about Delphine?
Thank you. I think what I see Delphine as a happy person and who works a lot. Like she works a lot, and what she intends to do, she does it. Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, now Delphine is your turn. Do you confirm that this is true?
The second one, it is not that a lot, but I work. But it's true.
You work a lot.
Okay.
So you're not, you're not agreeing that you're a happy person generally.
No, I'm a happy person. All are true.
Okay. But you tend towards more of the hardworking person. Like there's so much work that you do every single time.
Yes, I of course.
Okay. Now, I want you all to see what is happening here. Okay. People that do not live in the same house, that, they are probably not in the same office and everything. And we're doing a real practical example, and people are saying the things that they know about other people. That is your brand. We don't need to give you any academic definition. Okay. And that's why we're saying we just want to make this session completely practical and real into your normal lives as well. Okay. So Maria has said a few things about Dennis, and then it's like, oh yeah, yes, that's true. Shana said a few things about Dolphin and saying, oh yeah, this is absolutely true as well. Now, I'm gonna be asking Delphine, what are the things about you that people misconstrue? Okay, this is a big English now. What is it about you that people do not agree with, but you know that you have it or that you do it, that people usually just don't agree with? What would it be? And I'm going to be asking Dennis the same thing. What would that be?
Could you repeat that?
What is something that you do or that it comes effortlessly to you, but if you say to people, they will say, no, that's not you.
I confront people. I easily confront people.
It's not true. Even me, I'm saying it. It's not true.
Yeah. But people they cannot accept that because that is not who people perceive me to be. But it comes easily to me when you offend me. I easily confront people, yeah.
Okay, so now we need to offend Delphine for us to finally be able to figure that that this is something that she has. Now, I'm going to go to Dennis, okay, and I'm going to bring the two together for you to realize what is happening here. Yes, Dennis, what would it be?
Thank you, NP Fash. Good to see everyone here. So, I am decisive. It's very often that many people do not accept that. Number one, it's because people see me as a very humble person. People see me as someone who cannot say no, right? But I can actually say no very well. And yeah, I can actually decide on something And I mean, I am okay with saying no. I'm okay with saying yes. So I am very decisive, but I think out of 10 people, I've had about 8 people say, no, Dennis, you are not this. Yeah.
Okay. Now, look at where we started this session from today. We asked people, first of all, to introduce themselves to us without mentioning their name, without mentioning their gender, without mentioning where they come from, without mentioning their occupation, without mentioning their hobbies. And it was a huge struggle for people to be able to talk about themselves. Why? Because this is the most generic things that you say about yourself. This is the kind of thing that you show up with, which you would generally call like your brand. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is we moved from there and we asked people to look around themselves, to take an item that describes who they are. Okay. And as we got in there, we started seeing a different side again. Okay. Bernard started telling us in his first introduction, there is the life of a party. Then he moved on taking a diary as an item. And then he told us, well, I write my plans, I write my goals. Normally, you would imagine that someone that's a life of a party would never be organized. You would generally want to believe that they are on and on. A life of a party, they don't have time to be able to write anything down or put things together. But it may not be true because when we talk about our brand could be super, super diverse. In fact, your brand could be how you're showing up just right now. It's not just about how you show up every single time, because what Dennis has said is decisive. It may probably show up as decisive maybe once in 3 months. Yet it's part of his brand. So the question is this: how do you show up with the brand that you want people to perceive part time? Okay, because the goal of today's session is not to tell you that you must have just one brand and that's how you have to show up every single time. Okay. How do you show up with a brand that you need to be able to thrive? If you go to the party, how do you become the life of a party if that's a brand that you have? If you are someone that is organized, super organized, how do you show up as super organized when you have to be? If you're someone that is not organized, okay, and you struggle with it, how do you show up being authentic to say, you know what, I need someone in my life that is organized because I am not organized? And how do you even leverage on the strength of not being organized? Because there are times we need the brand and the skill set of people that are not organized. People that are organized, one of the challenges they face is that they struggle with what we call flow. If things don't go the way they want, sometimes they crash. They're like, oh my God, things are falling apart. Someone that is not organized is like, no, chillax. It's okay. So how do you show up with the brand or with the skill or with the values that you have at time that makes you thrive? Okay, this is the angle that we're going to look at it from. And we're going to go into a little bit of more practical things very shortly as well. But I want to know, Mary, are you able to jump in now? Yes? Okay, so I want you to run through, all the brilliance, that you brought into the room today, and then I'm going to tidy up with some more practical things, and we're going to be going online, doing a few more things. And guys, you have to wait for this, okay? So as I'm going to bring up Mary, one thing I want all of you in this room to do, because we're going to be doing a bit of more practical side of things, just after Mary is going to finish, I want you all to write into the chat one link of your online of your personal online website. Okay, so it could be your LinkedIn, it could be your Twitter, it could be your Facebook, any on. But please share with us link that we can access, okay? Because I know some of you, your accounts are private. Please don't share with us your private link because that would be a struggle for all of us. So if we can all do that, that would be great. And I'm going to be bringing up Mary. I'm just going to read a short bio about Mary. And then Mary is going to walk us through a few part of the things that we wanted to cover today. Join with me to welcome Mary, who is the 2025 JCI Lebanon president. She has been a member of JCI since 2018. She's originally an architect and urbanist. You cannot see that on her face. But JCI has allowed her to discover a passion for strategic design and branding, learning how to convey a story. Since 2020, she has been an important player in JCI Lebanon social media and creative design committee, for which she served as an advisor for years. In 2022 and 2023, she shaped JCI Lebanon's brand image and communication strategy, which was awarded at the 2023 JCI Africa Conference, Area Conference for Best Interorganizational Project. Mary now works as a business relation manager in the luxury world, where she combines a creative background with a passion for growing brands through strategic partnerships. Please, with a round of applause, virtual and everything, please welcome with me, Mary, as she dives in some other parts of our training for today. Mary, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Fash. It's so good to be here with you all, and I'm loving how the session is going already. I will be mostly talking about our digital presence. I think it's so important in our day and age. I mean, you can choose not to be online. That's a personal choice. But if you do choose to be online, I think we need to do it smartly in a way that's strategic. I would like first to talk about your digital footprint. Is it something that you guys are familiar with? I'm certain that NP Nabil, as his HR expert self, is very aware of that. I think it's super important what that is first. To really optimize your digital presence, it's important to know already what's out there for the world to see on you. Everyone is Googling us. This is your future employer, but also your future in-laws, maybe, most likely. They're out there seeing, what did they tweet in 2017? Are there drunk pictures from when they were barely legal? Maybe this should not be out there. Pasha, if you can move forward with the slide, please. I think having one more step. Thank you. Everything that we do online, this Zoom call, the Facebook Live that you're going to post after, everything is being tracked in a way. Our digital footprint is our shadow, our social media activity, everything we purchase online, our search history. There's a mix of active and passive shadows, meaning active is what you personally think that you've put out there for everyone to see. So your my pictures from my visits to Mauritius last month for the National President's meeting. Yes, this is active. Passive is the teacup that I bought online last week, that if people actually go digging, they might find. So I think it's very important to filter what is already online for your out there. If you can move forward to the next slide, please. Before you start really building your personal brand, it's important to do what's called digital curation, telling your own story and owning your narrative. As we said, like, people are Googling you. I've Googled a lot of the people that are on here to know just who I'm talking to, what's your background, how are we potentially related, what kind of conversations do we have, what are your interests. The thing is, what you don't tell the world online, people will make up. They will fill in the gaps, whatever you haven't said. So this might be about your LinkedIn profile. If there are gaps in your resumes that you might be able to justify, but they don't see, your future employer might also see that as a weak link. So I think first, just not to go into a full privacy lesson, because I would be the worst person to talk about this. Reviewing your privacy settings, understanding like who really has access to your information, because I think a lot of people don't know that your Facebook profile is a lot more public than you think, and sometimes you can see what you've been posting for years. Also monitoring your online presence, like Google yourself. I'm not Brad Pitt, but I'm still going to Google myself to make sure that whatever is out there is something that I want the world to see. I see Nabil nodding. Nabil is an HR expert. He will tell you, please do this. And finally, every time you post, think twice. Would you say that in front of 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 4,000 people? Would you say the same thing that you are tweeting at 4 a.m. because, I don't know, for some reason you decided to do that? If yes, then sure, please go ahead. I'm not here to control what you're putting online, that's for sure. But if not, maybe just think about it a little more. Let's move forward now, talking about our online strategy. First off, this is what Fash was talking about and is doing so amazingly that I'm not going to delve into it too much, but understanding first off, to build your own brand, who you are, getting to know yourself. People who have strong brands are very self-aware. They're aware of their strengths and their weaknesses, and also of how they can assess those weaknesses and like make up for them. How can they better themselves? For example, like self-assessment, I think is so important. Within JCI Lebanon, for all of our monthly board meetings, at the end of the month, we sit down and everyone takes the time to share like a self-assessment. We ask 3 questions. The first one, what are 3 things that I did right this month? This can be within JCI or within your personal life. Secondly, what are 3 things that I could have done better? And third, what are 3 things that I would like to improve in March? This allows each person to kind of assess themselves, not only just their progress, what they're doing within their JCI title, but also like as a person, why have I not actually fulfilled this? Am I procrastinating on this? If so, why? And how can I change that? Also, I think it's so important to ask for feedback from friends, from your colleagues, from your bosses, your professors, HR departments. Let's not shy away from that. It can be so intimidating to ask for feedback, but it's so important. Whenever I went through an interview process with a job, if I didn't get the job, I would ask, can you please provide feedback on my interview process so that I can personally assess what I could have done better? Sometimes it's out of your control. Sometimes they hire someone internally. Sometimes the person was so much better than you were, and that's fine. But at least having an understanding of why you didn't make it, why you didn't make the cut, and what could have done it what you could have done to make it actually happen. Also, last point about this, there's so much that is being shared on social media. We are literally like tiny little fishes, sardines in the sea. We're tiny. Standing out is really hard. And also, we tend to compare ourselves. Like, why is that person 24 with like the perfect job and the perfect life, and they bought a house and they're an investor and they apparently make 4 million a month? First off, let's not believe everything you see online. Reality is very like curated online, but also everyone literally has their journey, and that's where I think it's so important. What made you, your background, your history, your weaknesses, your whatever like personal struggles, this shapes the way that you are today, and this allows you to tell your own personal unique story. And having uniqueness in your brand is so important, and we saw that at the beginning of the call with all those like amazing ways that you are describing yourself. This is unique. This is what will make people remember you. And this comes not from, okay, I studied for 8 years and I actually am starting a PhD. This doesn't come from that. This comes from like what actually at your core you are. I'm adding here to the slide one helpful tool that you can help just assess to build your personal brand. There is, if you click once, there is a QR code, which is a PwC workbook to basically help define your X, Y, and Z factors. You can screenshot the QR code. It's a lot of pages, but you don't have to go through every single question, but it really helps do a self-assessment. If you are in a point of your career, for example, where you're maybe like redirecting your career, for example, like I personally studied architecture. I am not an architect now. There was a point where I was really lost because I wanted to do a million things. How do I filter that? How do I take my strengths and weaknesses and go in a direction that suits me and that I am happy with? This toolbook, I think, could be very useful if you are in a similar situation. Are we okay? Am I speaking too fast? Because I know that I tend to do that. Nabil is a yes. Everyone on the chat, feel free to leave like a thumbs up. I see that everyone has shared their LinkedIn, and I'm going to go click on them for sure right after. Moving on to the next slide. This is about selling your why. I'm personally interested really about how brands and companies, how some of them are really able to stand out, and what makes them so memorable on the market. Why do you remember Apple a lot more than you might remember Motorola or Nokia in 2025? It's because they are really good at defining the why that their brand is. Anyone can really define what they do and how they do it. I am an architect and I do it in that way. These are my processes and so on. Now that you have personally grasped for yourself, at least from my personal experience, that I was, yes, an architect in theory, I was really good at creative thinking, at problem solving. I was not great at communication, at like project management at all. And I wanted to work and like do so many amazing things, but I did not know how to make that happen, you know? So understanding why I actually wanted to do those things, why I actually was waking up in the morning, why I had that motivation, why did I want to dedicate time to myself, to my personal career, why should other people care also? Understanding like who you are at your core and what motivates you and why you are doing things is so incredibly important. What makes the difference between people who just recently graduated, let's say I have a bachelor in finance and I have a bachelor in finance, and I also have X, Y, and Z soft skills and X, Y, and Z soft skills, in the end, it's their why. It's the passion that they're able to present and the way that what drives them and the way that they're able to present themselves, their personal branding. Now, talking more about like being online with all of that, I think being authentic online now is so easily faked. You know, you see all of those posts on LinkedIn. I am honored to be I am thankful for. Everyone can just share those things, but being purposeful and intentional about what you are posting, and also building relationships and networking genuinely online is so incredibly important. When you include your own personal experience and story, and you don't really like sit on your success, but you're constantly learning, reading, growing as a person, this is how you build a really strong brand, and you're actually able to stand out of everyone else. Moving on to the last part of the digital presence aspect of things, I'll be talking about more concrete things about being compelling online in order to really be taken seriously, to stand out, to attract like the top recruiters if that's what you're looking for. But I'm talking about whether you're looking for a job or looking for another job, or looking to network as a startup owner or as a new business, as an entrepreneur, whatever your motivation will be. I think it's super important to first understand what your own. Sorry, Delphine, I will talk slower. I will talk slower. So yes, understanding your own motivation. Yes, okay. It's super important. One thing that I think is underrated is doing your research, whether you're applying for a job or looking to network with someone else. Understanding what you're applying for, who you're applying, like what company you're applying to, actually diving into this and who you're talking to. You have a meeting next Tuesday to interview for whatever position. Who are you meeting with? What is that person looking for in you? I think that's the biggest thing, is really understanding what they are looking for and whether you are able to provide that, and selling yourself in a way that provides that. More of a general interviewing tip, I think preparing questions to ask them, because an interview is not meant to be an interrogation. It's also meant to be a conversation. They want to hear from you the same way that you want to hear from them. And Nabil, we can, I'm sure, talk about this, but I do believe that if I was a recruiter, I would more remember someone who asked me like a very striking question at the end of the interview than someone who just answered my questions all along. You know, I think it's an important thing. Overall, more of a basic life tip: grammar, being consistent, replying promptly to emails, being polite, sending thank you emails. Those are very obvious things, but it's really important and does play a part in your brand. If you are seen as someone who's not reliable, who doesn't communicate well, who is not consistent in their communication, because one time you call yourself an IT, I don't know the terms, but a brand designer and then a brand strategist, it's not the same. So having an understanding of that, and then being coherent throughout everything you say. And now moving on to my last part, about being memorable. Social media presence, like we're all on there, whether we're watching or we're creating. You don't have to create to actually be on the job market, but at least maintain your profile if you are looking for a job or not. Even if you've been on the market, like in your job for a while and you're very happy with it and consistent, maintain your profile, update what you've been up to. That will help you internally within your company, but also towards other positions to keep growing. I think from the people who are present here, Rwanda Rwanda, Mauritius, we are bilingual countries. LinkedIn, have your profiles in both English and French. This is something that is very easy to implement, but it does add to it. If you want to use social media to your advantage, you can create content on platforms that are like adapted to your aspirations. Obviously LinkedIn, Indeed, like all of those professional platforms, but also if you're a creative, be on Contra, be on Behance, be on different platforms where you can display your portfolio and share yourself. And also social media. I think one of my favorite things to watch on social media is people who have, for example, background in something, but will present it through something else. There's a TikTok account that I personally love that talks about Black history in the United States, but through cooking. Her background is in history. She has the background to do that, but she presents it in a way that is a lot more interesting, a lot more attractive. And like for people who are just passing by and not necessarily aware about the topic, this is so important. There are many ways, like if you are a creative, share your design process online. This will help you create your own personal brand and strengthen it. I think I will leave you here with what I had to say for your digital presence. I hope I did not talk too fast. If not, I will happily share the presentation also.
Thank you so much, Mary, for, yes, yeah, it was fast, but it was spot on.
You told me
And
20
yes,
minutes.
I'm seeing all the claps, I'm seeing all the all the love. Yeah, so but thank you so much for sharing that. That was really, really awesome, and yeah, very brilliant as well. We're gonna be opening up question for a bit of time, and then like I said, we're gonna spend a bit of chunk of time. And thank you for everyone that's been sharing your links on the chat. Please continue to share your links on the chat, your links to your social media, any one of it that you want us to be able to access. Please share it on the chat because we're going to be trying a few exercises with it. Now, I want to give a bit of time, especially based on what Mary has shared right now. If there are questions that people have, and you'd like Mary to respond to, it would be great to just raise your hand or just unmute, and please feel free to ask your questions. And then it's going to take us to the remaining part of today's session.
May I, Vash? Can I intervene? Thank you very much, National President. Good evening, everyone. All protocols observed. All no protocols observed. So I'm just kidding. So good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Just want to add on to what NP Marie just said, especially as regards to our digital presence in the field of human resource, or in the field, let's put it like that, in the professional world. Another term which is more commonly used is employer branding. For example, if you're employed in a specific company and you're assigned to boost the digital presence of this particular enterprise, either you will be working with the marketing department digitally and so forth, or also with the talent action department, but through projects, in order to make the brand of your company more known to your specific audience. Many things that she's highlighted that I completely agree on. Starting with, in an interview, it is indeed, it's a conversation that you should be having with the recruiter or hiring manager. It is two-way communication process. And very importantly, at the end of the day, when you're talking, before entering the room and finding the recruiter or the hiring manager, you should have already done your research in advance at home about the company. Very often I come across very good profiles on paper. When they or when I have them on the phone, they will say, "Oh, hello. Can you tell me? Can you come again? Which company is it?" I don't remember I applied to this specific. Come on, it's not good. Even you have a a very good profile, it doesn't work. So yeah, I just wanted to comment a couple of things. If I continue, I will tend to get more into my field that I don't want to. But thank you very much, Marie. And for me personally, maybe something that I share with you is that the way I'm talking right now, I am putting I am learning to speak less fast, but something that I think that I can share about my personality when I heard Mary talking, for me it was perfect. Like the pace that you were going, I can handle it because I do it. I talk really fast as well. So maybe something about my personality. And another thing is something that I can share with you all before ending is uh, always know your why, because it is the starting point. For me, it is the starting point. And then as from then, you know where you want to go, and then start building on yourself. You know, it's like it's like I don't know, a sculpture. Do your own sculpture so that you can reach your ultimate goal. Thank you very much, MP Fash.
Thank you very much, and Nabil, for adding that in as well. And yes, absolutely spot on as well. We'll take one more question, of course, comment as well, before it takes us to the next thing. Any other person, please feel free, just unmute. And yeah, share. Yes, MP Dennis.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And first, thank you, Mary. So I have a lot of deep interest in content creation. So technology is developing each and every time. The AI tools that you don't need to think anymore while creating content. You just go to AI and compel it to think for you. It so happens that the first job that I did after my secondary was a content job creation. And so I just get up my phone and call a friend, and I'm like, I'm looking for a job in content creation. Like, okay, just come, let's try. I mean, I think that was about 3 years ago. So I worked for this company for about 2 years, and I mean, each and every time, I mean, all right, let me put it this way. The more companies want to sell, the more we need new ways of creating things and doing content. So my question to Mari is that the high levels of AI coming in to help people create content, is there any more thinking? Right? Is there any more thinking that is going to be done by people? Because at least there are some people who can differentiate between content created organically and content created or generated by let's say an AI, because content created by a human, I mean, like you mentioned, needs some research, things that are very underrated. It needs some background research. It needs maybe talking to one or few people in order to come up with content. I one time did content for a very big company in Uganda, that is Uganda Airlines, actually. And it was just 3 words, but I took 3 hours to do this content. 3 words, and it took 3 hours, right? After sending to them a whole pile of options, they're like, no, this is so common. This is so obvious. You get? So I don't know. I don't know if you try to get what I'm saying. Yeah.
I personally believe, because I'm not a huge AI user, but I personally believe as a designer, unique storytelling cannot be generated by AI. The bottom line of unique storytelling is understanding what brand you're selling, who you're selling to. It takes analysis, it takes human skills that I think AI cannot replace because of certain subtleties. Because AI, if I am in Lebanon or in Uganda and I'm selling, let's say, a cold soda drink, whatever, it's going to be very different because there are very different countries, but AI will not necessarily pick up all of the things in creating the brand. I think AI can be a very useful tool, but from my personal opinion, I think that's what it is. It's a tool, but it will not replace the design and creative and strategic process that comes with creating the content, the brand, whatever we are creating. I see Maria in the chat has agreed.
Okay, so there's some agreement, right? Okay, so the last part of things we want to cover, like I said, it's kind of like an unsung thing. I think there's a bit of it that has to do with AI, which is quite interesting based on the response of Mary just now. And the other part of it as well has to do a little bit also with going online in terms of really looking at some of our, some of the links that we have shared and really explore a few things, ask a few questions and see what exactly, this looks like as well. Now, I'm going to start with the last link, excuse me, with the last link I'm seeing on the screen, and I'm going to be putting up my screen as well. This is basically for learning purpose. Okay, so please do not be offended, at any point or anything. It's just for us really to learn and really to question ourselves about the things that we currently have, in terms of what is it that we have out there. So, so this is Bernard, who has shared this link, and I'm just going to be walking through it and asking you guys some questions, and you can answer on the chat. And Bernard as well, you can respond directly to me some of the things I'm going to be asking as well. Now, if you're hearing some cry at the back, it's my baby. He wants to join this session, but I told him, grow up to join Zoom. All right, so this is Bernard. So Bernard, I will just quickly ask you. So this is your full name, I believe. Is that correct? Bernard, if you can unmute, that would be great so that we do this together while other people are listening in.
Yeah, that's correct. That's my name.
Fantastic. So Bernard has told us this is his bio and he's envisioning the future, and he has told us he's based in Rwanda and he has a link to his Instagram. So I'm also going to click on his Instagram, and I want us to really pay attention here. Okay. Now, when you look up here at the very top, and I hope you guys see what I'm saying at the link bar. Okay. So you can see that the link to Bernard's Instagram is Bernard PTW17. If you go back here, it's also the same thing, right? It's also the same thing, right? And he has added his full name here on Instagram as well. He has added his full name. But the only thing that is different between his profile straight away, just looking at it, is that here, there is no bio. The bio he has is just joy in chaos, okay? This picture is different on both sides, but he's the same person, right? I'm not really going to be telling you what to look at, but I'm just going to be highlighting, and I hope it helps people that are listening in, especially when you're talking about branding and everything like that. Now, on his Instagram, he has linked it back to Twitter. So from Twitter, you're going to his Instagram. From Instagram, you're going to his Twitter, which, well, this depending on how you want to think about it, there could be some advantages to it and some other disadvantages to it as well. Now, there's something that's a little bit missing. Immediately, you look at everything that is happening from this level to this level. It is what I call CTA, call to action. Where are you leading people to through your profile? Immediately, people jump on your profile. Are you bringing them into your life? Are you bringing them a little bit more into the things that you do? Is there something you want them to explore deeper? Is it helping them to move like in a journey with you, or things like that? And it does not mean that you have to sell anything, by the way. Okay. It might just mean that there's a place that you share more of your thoughts. There's a place where they can see more about you and everything as well. So for example, if Instagram is where they see more of you, this was great. But you could have given them a call to action to say, to know a little bit more about me or to connect further with me, click here. So you point to your Instagram, right? Which is a link that you already put there, for example. Now, we were talking about something earlier on that people would go on your profile and they will find maybe things that you've written a few years ago and everything. And I just wanted to show you practically how generally we do that, okay? Now, Bernard has joined this platform since 2020. So he has been on Twitter basically for about 5 years, and he has tweeted 10.9K times. So Bernard has 10,900 posts on Twitter. That is what it means. Now, if I want to find out, okay, the post that, because this is a lot of posts, that's going to be too hectic for me to find out. But is there a way I can find out the post that he made in, let's say, he joined in June, so I need to check August 2022. So how am I going to find these tweets? I mean, it means I'm going to scroll down all the way. Oh my God, that's going to be too much. So I'm going to try this strategy. There's one way if I really want to look at specific of the time that I tweeted. So I'm just going to take this his handle, and I'm just going to show you guys quickly what I would do. So for example, I will go here and let's clear this. And I'm basically going to advanced search. So I'm using the advanced. So what I'm gonna do is I will put his handle here. Please follow me. I may be a little bit fast because I also want to look at other people's accounts so that I can share a few things. Now, there's a few more things I can do here. I'm not gonna go into that for today. Now, I'm gonna put here 2020. And I want to see his tweet of August. And I start from August 1 all the way. Hey, Bernard, I just hope your tweets are nice, so that we don't open this thing to people. Just joking.
Yeah, sure.
All right, 2020, and then I'll also put it in August as well. Okay, now, and then I'm going to search. Now, see what he was tweeting, right? This is August 5. This is his tweet in August 5, 2020, so, right? Dear Matt, I'm tired of finding your ex. Just move on, buddy. She's okay. So this is what we do, okay? We need to find something you've been posting. You totally forgot that you posted about these things. This is super easy for us to find, okay? And I'm not intentionally today. I'm not using tools like pay tools or anything to really digging into people's brand and everything. But here, Mario was saying something about the fact that maybe your in-laws they just want to go back and check who is this person that wants to marry a girl or that wants to marry a boy. And they can really actually dig in very far to the kind of things that you've done and everything. Some of you, maybe you don't tweet a lot, but you have an account online. There's a whole lot of things, there's a whole lot of tools that we can actually use to find the things that I want to find about you, and every other thing like that. Now, I have seen so many people that probably lost their jobs or lost, great opportunities just because there was something that they tweeted like far back in the days, and they probably did not even know those things. They tweeted about it, and people have gone deeply to actually find some of those things. Some people say, well, I can delete things that I posted. I tell you what, internet never forgets. And that's what Mary was saying the other time. Internet never forgets. And everything that you posted, it goes into your brand, one way or the other. A picture of you at the bar, a picture of you traveling, a picture of you at the beach, a picture of you, all of those things basically go into repository, right? It never goes. It basically stays there. So this is an example of basically finding out what Bernard has tweeted far back in 2020 when he opened his account, and I can go deep back into many other things as well. Now, there's another thing. If I really don't want to find out a particular month or something, if I'm trying to learn more about the kind of things maybe he has written about, so I can say something like the word good. I want to see everything that he has said that has the word good in his tweets from all the years. And that's what I just did right now. Okay. So I've used this syntax. I've added it to the word good. And so you can see that every tweet that is coming from Bernard has the word good. So there's good here, there is good here, there is good here. Every word that has to do with good. So if there's a particular word, I was trying to find out if Bernard uses a lot, or he will tell me, he don't use those kind of words. I can easily go to his tweet and actually find the kind of words he uses. And I will print it out and send it to him and say, hey, far back in 2020, this is the kind of things that you tweet about. So your brand is real. Your brand, it's real. Okay. Everything that you tweet about, everything that you say, there's a whole lot of things around it. Now, this is just one level. There's another level, which I will not show you today, and because of time, where I can analyze like the things that you've been saying. to get a bit of a sentiment of it? Do you usually tweet things that are more fun? Do you tweet things that one way or the other, people say that the things you tweet is who you are, you know, to a very large extent, or the things that you write somehow, some way, even the things you repost tells us about who you are. You don't even need to write it. Okay. So there's a way I can even download like your data, the tweets that you've said, and I can analyze it and run, you know, the emotion, the what is the most frequent word that you use, and I can put this in kind of a in a word cloud. So I can use a word cloud tweet link, and I can put all of those things there, and it gives me an idea of the kind of things that you say a lot, or the kind of things that you tweet about, and all of those kind of things. So this is just a quick example, just wanted to show you that we can dig into your life, we can dig into your digital space, and we can really find a whole lot of things from there as well. So this is one step. Now, I want to use someone else as an example. I don't want to go to the links for now. I want to use someone's name. Who would like me to use their name as an example of something I want to show? Anyone? Please don't be afraid. Okay,
Don't
this
be
is for learning
scared.
purpose. Okay, I can use Maria. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to do now is, so there's something on Chrome and every browser actually that is called incognito browser. And I hope you guys will be able to see. Okay, so I'm going to be putting on the new incognito window. Please tell me if you can see a black screen. No?
No, it stayed on the Twitter page.
Okay. Incognito browser will not allow you for me to actually share the screen of my incognito. That's how interesting it is. Okay. Okay, I will use the normal screen then. Incognito will not allow you for me to actually share the screen on my incognito, because it's a bit of you know, for you to browse without a bit not being able to be tracked, but that's another story. So let me put this here. But when you're doing this for yourself, please use incognito, okay? Because we want to be able to see that you are not, because you're logged into your browser and everything, is going to influence the result. So what I'm doing here is I'm just typing your name on Google. All right. So automatically it's telling me that you can see my screen, right? Mari, Zara, everyone? Yes?
Yeah, you can see.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
fantastic. Yeah. Now, for me, I mean, all these things that you're seeing for the first one, I guess most likely you are the one, right? And it means probably you've done a whole lot of things, and it automatically brings your LinkedIn. One, I want to check images. So images is one of the things in terms of branding, for example. So for example, I want to see. And sometimes the reason why you're doing this is not just because you want to find out who you are or who you are not. You also want to find out maybe there are other people bearing your name that also have the same name as you, and they posted a whole lot of content. And so when people are looking for your name, if their name is showing, they might be taking you as that person. And it helps us to also know what you need to do more so that you can do better. Okay, so that it would be you showing, not them showing. All right. So just scrolling a little bit. So this is really everything we are seeing at the moment. Like all the pictures that we are seeing is pretty much like this. And it's always great, especially people that have names that are super unique. So I'm guessing maybe your name is super unique, and that is what is happening here. There are people that have names that are, you know, many people bear the kind of names that you have. For those people, you have to do more work when it comes to your branding, okay? Because you are fighting with many people that actually have your name. And I'm going to give you a real example here. I don't know if there's any one of you that bear very common names. Okay, I actually bear a common name, by the way. Okay. And I'm going to tell you a trick that I've done to help myself a little bit while, yes, I'm bearing the same name that everybody's bearing, and I'm just going to show you an example here. For me, this is not the best way to search, but I'm also going to search. But I'm going to tell you a few more things that I've done that has helped. So you're basically seeing a whole lot of me, okay? From the very beginning, a whole lot of me, a lot of things I've done, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more how this has happened and why, yes, my name is just showing, and it's showing a lot of my pictures as well. Now, number one, I'm going to use the example of someone that shared their LinkedIn here. Okay, Nabia, can I use you, please? Okay, so when we go on LinkedIn, here's the first thing that everybody needs to pay attention to. Up here, can you all see this upside? So the first way to really, really be unique is to make sure that this link is personalized. Meaning that the web link that goes to your name and to everything that has to do with you is highly personalized. It's like, this is your URL and no other person have it. It is the very first thing, alongside with your profile and every other thing as well. Now, how do you change this? Okay, so that this actually reads your name rather than, and it's also very complex to remember. LinkedIn, so give me your LinkedIn link, and linkedin.com/rn/Nabil-B-18. Oh my goodness, now you have killed me. So how do we really make this easy, number one? And number two, how do we make sure that we secure our link? Okay, so here's the example, very simple. So I go to my link, my direct link, so you can all do that on your own PC as well. And there's this site called public profile and URL. Okay, so when you go there, there is this thing that looks like a pen. So when you click on it, it brings you to another place. And what happens here is that you are able to actually edit your custom URL. All right. So here you can actually click and you can take out all those letters one by one. And then you replace it with your own name. All right. And you can do this across all your platforms as well. For Twitter, there's a place where you can do it. For Instagram, there's a place where you can do it. And most times you want to lock down a particular username or a particular handle for you alone. So for example, you want to have something like LinkedIn in, let's say, for example, my name would be Fashtag. So if you go to my Twitter, for example, it's twitter.com/Fashtag. If you go to my Instagram, is instagram.com/Fashtag. If you go to, because I was too late, some people already stole this on Facebook. Someone else was already using it. Okay. And I could not really, I couldn't grab it again. So I kind of left it. But what I've done now is to do a lot more pictures, a lot more videos about myself and everything. And it has worked as well. Oh, somebody's lost. Okay. Am I too fast? Yeah, it's because we have a few more minutes. And I want to cover a chunk of things. Where did you get lost? Anyone is lost? I can go back.
I think she's asking, can you do go through the steps again about how we can amend our URL?
Okay. All right. So I go to my profile, my main profile on LinkedIn. Then you go to here on the right side, you will see profile language, and then you're going to see public profile and URL. All right. And you're going to click on it, and then it takes you to another page. On that page, on the right side again, top right corner, you're going to see edit your custom URL, and you can click it, and here you can change it. So if I change mine, for example, to Nabil something, Nabil cannot use that URL again because this URL now is only for me. I've already taken that. Now, this is for personal. If some of you also have website, you have an organization, you can do the same thing. And I'm going to show you how that is done. And I'll use the example of JCI Rwanda. So if you go to company, all right, so let me show you what this looks like. And I've seen people struggle a little bit with this as well. So if you go to linkedin.com, so look at the top right corner of the top side of what I'm sharing. So there's company, then slash. Okay, I'll just go to the link first so that you take a look at what is happening. So here, okay, it's coming up. So I'm viewing as a member. Let's see what it's going to show. So for your organization as well, you want to have it as the same across all the platform. It's also one of the ways that you brand yourself. So you have one link that goes to every other link as well across all your platform. I generally advise people as well, for most of your platform, use the same picture. Especially if you're trying to stand out like as a professional. I know sometimes you want your Instagram to be more fun, your Twitter to be more chatty. It's totally fine as well if you want to use different pictures and you want to show up different way. But if you want to show up the same way across all the platforms, it's good practice. I don't know why this is not loading. Now, JCI Rwanda company page is shy. Doesn't want you guys to see what is there. But yeah, so it's good practice across board. You have the same picture, you put up. So if I see you on Instagram, see you on Facebook, I know it's the same person that I'm interacting with. It's not like I'm gonna be lost. Or I'm feeling like, oh, who is this person? Okay, now I don't know who this person is, and things like that. So there's a few more things I wanted to share as well in terms of some of these practices as well, but because of time, I will probably take one more person. Let me see who else has shared their link. Who else? Okay, now I have to scroll back a little bit. Okay, I think I see another person. No, but I think I can still stay on Nabil just to give a little bit more context, especially on how it has been aligned really well. So let's use that example. If you have questions, please feel free to unmute as this is loading, and I can start taking some of those questions. Instead of waiting.
Just something I'd like to share, Fash, is that the way you're searching for information, the way you're trying to see, let's say, like 4 years back, 5 years back, what kind of content that person has been using, has been sharing. In talent acquisition, there is a technique called Boolean, the Boolean technique. So it is a bit similar to the way you're proceeding, which is very interesting as well. I'm learning things today through yourself and Marie. So the Boolean technique is simple, but there are some syntax we have to respect. For example, one word, we keep it as such. 2 words, we open inverted commas. And then if I want to, let's say if I want to look for your profile, I will do coding. I will try to look for someone who has, let's say, 12, 15 years of experience in training, someone who's based in Rwanda, someone who's been delivering international trainings, someone who's, for example, has some technical skills in some specific software. I put everything in coding, like words and syntaxes, and I can assure you, through the first 1 to 4 pages, I will come across your profile. So we can talk about it later on.
Thank you so much, Nabil, for sharing that. I'm hopeful that we would have a session on this because it's a whole deep dive, okay? And 3 hours will probably still be on it as well because it's a huge one. And we will show the example, especially when you're looking for things that most people will not find normally, okay? Especially you're looking for jobs, you're looking for fellowships, you're looking for grant applications, you really want to dig very deep, okay? And yes, NPW will be happy to have you, co-facilitate the session, and we can really do deep dive. And we will ask people, especially, specific of things that they really want to dive into. So I want to share one last thing. I know a few people are probably mentioned to us different times. Well, I know I'm supposed to be posting, I know I'm supposed to be sharing, but I struggle with what exactly am I supposed to post? Yes, I have pictures that I take from events, I have pictures of things I've done. I really don't know, what to post or what to share. Now, I'm going to introduce you to AI, but maybe a little bit different. And I know, yes, Maria said there's a bit of struggle around that for many people. So hopefully this part of things that we're going to cover right now would be helpful. So I'm going to be showing you a tool, and I don't know if any of you have seen this tool before. Anyone in the room have seen this tool before? Called Okay. I don't see chats. Please type yes or type no. Okay, no. Who else is typing no? All right. Okay, a few people have not seen. All right, great. Now, I'm going to be asking Marie, okay, because we're doing this together. Marie, who is your best writer? Or your best copywriter, anyway?
A person? A reference?
A person, someone, somewhere.
Oh, this is a hard question.
Okay, I can ask everyone. Everyone who is like your best writer, someone that really writes really nicely and many people know about, global writer, global copywriter. Any name, you can type it on the chat, by the way. Any name at all. Okay, now the reason why we are struggling is because maybe you guys have not been paying attention to writers because names should jump into our head straight away. If I've asked you for your best music, I think it would jump directly, isn't it? So that's part of branding as well, you know? When we mention your name, what do people remember you as immediately, right? So if we had said who was the best writer, I would expect people to say, oh yeah, Delphine, she's here. You see? Okay. J.K. Rowling's best writer, yeah? Okay. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna show you something through this. So the reason why I love this tool is because this tool has all the AI that you guys use everywhere. Okay. Where you go one, 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 one. For me, I'm using it in one place. Okay. Yeah, because I also don't like going to many places. So what happens here is that I have ChatGPT here, I have Claude here, I have like everything inside one place. It's lifesaver. Okay. I don't go up and down. And I have almost all the ones that generate pictures, the ones that everything in one place. Okay. Yeah, you can thank me later. It's fine. DeepSeek, everything in one place. Llama, everything in one place. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for an human writer. Okay. So you see what I'm doing here? So you see human rights, you see human writer, these write essays, articles, and everything. I can also say that I'm looking for a creative writer. Creative, let's see if it has anything. It looks like it doesn't have anything. But for me, because I know what I'm looking for, I will not just go for, okay, I think my network now is there's something happening to my network. Okay, let's try this again. All right, I'll go back. So I can say I'm looking for a copywriter this time. Okay, my network is frozen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Something went wrong. Yeah. This is my network. Well, maybe I'll have to show you guys this another time. But I'll just give you what I wanted to say, and hopefully you guys will try it out and you see the kind of magic that I'm talking about. Now, there's a whole lot of things on this side that you see. So here is, going back to home, here is to search. So for example, I can actually search here, and this is what I do a lot on this side. So this gives you different things. So if you don't even know the AI you want to use, I can move down here and say that I want creative writing. So I click on creative writing, automatically it tells me the AIs that could actually do creative writing. Okay, this is just the beginning of things. There's a whole lot more things that I have to do like at the back end to really make this really, really good. So let's say this one is Humanizer AI Pro. So I've clicked on this and this has told me, I'll take your writing and turn it into something interesting, engaging, and human. Let's make your word come to life. So let's try. Okay, we're just on the dot of time, and I really want to respect everybody's time. So is it okay we stop here and we can always do this another time? Yeah. Do we all agree? I need to get agreement. Everyone.
I think people are both curious and yeah, I think
okay.
people are curious.
Okay, maybe we take like 10 minutes and we finished it. Oh, you're good with both. Okay. Okay, I think a few people are okay. All right. So I'll rush through this then. Now, I've just written here J.K. Rowling, right? And I want to do an example. So let's say we're in this meeting today. So I want to write about this meeting. I'll say, I want you to write like J.K. Rowling, be human, speak like everyday human, or make a story format. Okay, I have just attended an online session about PowerUp professional memory. Yay. Million posts. Okay. The major points. It's action. Right. Twitter posts. All right. Then Instagram. Okay. I'm kind of doing basic, like very, very, very basic. Okay. Um, so okay. So everything that I was giving you right now is still like very basic, like every other thing that you see, all of that. Now I'm gonna say turn each post into a full story. All right. So I'm just getting started. Okay. This is what is happening now. So it's today. I found myself nestled in favorite corner and everything. Then fast to the stage and no did away with words. He shared his own and everything. Mario opened with a powerful statement that resonated with me. The session wrapped up with a conversation about the importance of I can go on and on and on and on and on to really show you how to really take this down until it humanizes the voice. Then there's another one. Maybe you guys have seen it, Claude.ai. I can pop into Claude. It's because we don't have time today as well. I can put into Claude AI all the posts I've written, for example, on Facebook. Let's say, just like what I was sharing with Bernard, all his posts. I will tell Claude, here are the way I write. So meaning I've written all these posts without AI, okay, over the last, let's say 5 years. I'll pop it in. So I'm telling Claude AI to know my voice, my writing voice. So every single time I tell it not to create like a Twitter post or a Facebook post or anything, it creates it with a voice that I use to say, here's the words I use. Here's the kind of things that I say. Because I want to retain my brand. I don't want my brand to go to AI. But at the same time, I want to be effective. I want to be efficient. I want to retain my brand. Um, so I'm saying, yes, AI will not replace your voice, but there's a way you can make AI to mimic your voice and to make it authentic and to make it stay. Okay, let's stop here. I want to take questions as well, but there's a whole lot of things that we can really dive into, especially using technology also for your branding. There's another piece as well in terms of even analyzing your brand at the moment. Your LinkedIn, we can download it and analyze it to say, here, how do people perceive me at the moment? And what are the things I need to do better? Some of this is a little bit of more, more deep dive work. You can analyze your current Facebook. You can analyze your current Twitter. And then to now say, okay, these are the kind of things now that I need to be posting, or these are the direction that I need to take to make some of these things a little bit more better and all of that. Okay. One or two questions before we close. Any more questions or comments? For sure.
So quick one, NB.
Yes.
The POE.com link, is it a premium account or is it free of charge?
For Paul, right? The one I just used? Okay, so the one I was showing you is free. So it means everything I was doing, I was not using any paid version. I was using free versions.
Okay.
But there's a paid version of it. At the moment, I cannot even pay for it in Rwanda because Rwanda cannot pay yet. So you might need to check for your country if you can pay for it. But I would absolutely pay for it when it's possible because I don't want to go to all the AI tools. I want to stay in one place and do all the magic.
Sure. I
Yeah,
have a premium
but
account
it's the
for
free version.
ChatGPT, and trust me, I'm playing with it. I am making the dodo alive on it. So trust me, it's so
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So generally, I would advise people, even for your branding and everything, and this could be maybe another session as well to say, how do I use AI to continue to make my brand authentic and for it to stay, the way I want it to stay. And there's a lot of things around that. Now, another thing that it's also possible, especially with AI and technology, is you can create your own. So I'll use, for example, ChatGPT. You can create your own GPT that goes into your brand. Okay, we don't have time to show all of these things today, but these are possibilities, okay, where you can actually create your own AI tool that respects you, that respects your brand, that knows who you are, and it just really speaks, your own language and everything as well. So those are the magic that is really, really possible. And by the way, you can use even like free version of things to do what I'm talking about right now. And it's just excellent. By the way, I could show you guys that in 1 minute. Okay. Any other questions that we have? So if you guys go to your ChatGPT, I believe everybody use this. You go to the top right corner, you will see many things here. So this is Explore GPT, this is Customize GPT. So you can actually customize your GPT. So here I can create my own GPT. So I can say this is GPT Fash. And what I wanted to do is to retain my branding. And I can tell it what trait. So I can say this trait has to be authentic. This trait has to be fun. Yeah, I want it to be witty. I want it to be forward thinking. Again, some of the brand that we talked about today, I want it to be Gen Z. And then from there, I can say I can copy in some of the things I've written, for you to recognize my voice, and I can go to advanced. Here, I can tell it, yes, I want it to be able to do web search because I already have my brand on the web. I want it to have advanced voice. So for example, I want this to be able to speak my mother tongue when people are interacting with it, not just English. I want it to speak French. I want it to speak Rwanda. So I want it to be advanced voice. I want it to be able to do the coding and the DALI, which is the image version of things. And when I save this, if I make it open, it means that you guys will be able to have access to it and be able to use it for your brands. If I don't make it open, then it will just be for me, and I can continue to do magic with it as well. So yeah, just an example as well. Okay, so I see a question. Is a brand a constant thing or a lifelong journey? It's a lifelong journey. Mari, what do you think?
Ever evolving as we are. We should keep learning, growing, and evolving and adapting our brand accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. There could be a time in your life you're always suited up and everything, maybe because you do that maybe more for acceptance and more for the places where you go. It could get to a time you could have maybe more money and you've built your brand so well, and you really don't care so much of being formal because you can actually dress up in other ways and people will still respect you. Now, this is a different kind of brand that you're bringing into play as well. Yes, people will still respect, they will still, based on the previous brand that you already did. They already respected you. So whatever way you're dressing now, they don't care, right? So it's a journey that we continue to go. All right, we're gonna close here, and I would ask Mari to give us final words as we close.
What a great session. I don't know about everyone, but I absolutely loved it. There was so much great insight from everyone, great discussions. I do feel like you guys enjoyed it as well. And I can't wait to see what other sessions we'll have together. And I can't wait to see a JCI Rwanda, JCI Mauritius, or JCI Uganda, Rwanda together.
Awesome. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you all the NPs, Mauritius, Uganda, of course, Lebanon and Rwanda as well. Thank you so much for all our members as well that have joined us, and people that are non-members as well that has been on this call today. Thank you so much. On a Friday, keeping you here, we know it must have been a whole lot to be here. I want to thank you. We hope you've learned one or two things today, and we hope you go out there to do magic and create more magic and do excellent stuff as well in your brand, both personal, professional, and otherwise as well. Stay good and all the best, everyone. You take
Keep
care,
growing.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.